Hello, my name is Errol Rappaport. Welcome to a continuing podcast series sponsored by the Daisy Jopling Music Mentoring Foundation. It is called Rappaport in Resonance, a dream of passion. Daisy Jopling and the band just finished an incredible concert on Bannerman Island. And we will be interviewing all the fabulous band members. Today my interview is with Matthew Watanabe on keyboard. Here's a brief bio on Matthew. He was born in Brooklyn, based in Brooklyn, California born, and Tokyo-raised pianist who has performed with the artists including Hilary Capps, Stacey Sullivan, and Daisy Jopling. He graduated from the New School in 2012, where he studied with Reggie Workman, Danny Grisette, Leanne Ledgerwood, and Sam Yahel, and has toured the U.S. and the world playing genres from pop to jazz. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Errol.
Hi, Matthew. Tell us about your background and how did you get started in music?
Well, I started playing the piano when I was about 9 years old, and I wanted to play because my sister was taking lessons at the time. So, I wanted a little bit of that too. Started taking lessons when I was still in California and, started with classical. And, it's always exciting to learn something new, but then, you get to a point where maybe you don't enjoy it so much, but, keep on pushing through, listen to my parents, encouragement, keep on practicing. And yeah, and here I am still playing and still practicing.
Was your sister older or younger?
What's that?
Was your sister older or younger?
She's older than me, about a year and a half older than me. So we're pretty close.
So exactly, what is a keyboard? I never understood it yet.
So a keyboard is pretty much another way of saying a piano, but it's an electric piano, basically. When you go to a concert and you see somebody playing, this long instrument that plays the notes of a piano, that's a keyboard. Just the key part of a piano, essentially.
It sounds different, right?
Yeah, it's different in that, unlike a piano, which is an acoustic instrument, you just open the lid and start playing and sound comes out. Keyboard, you have to plug it in and set it up and turn on the volume, and you can play a lot of different sounds, like a piano sound or an electric piano sound or some other sounds like string sounds or other synthesized sounds. So it has a lot of capabilities.
So why are you a keyboard player rather than a pianist?
Well,
or do you do both?
I do both. However, a lot of times, it's very hard to move a piano around. So unless a concert hall or venue has a piano, I'll have to bring something of my own. So a keyboard allows me to play in more spaces and play with more people. It's a lot more portable, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so another question is, when did you know that you had a talent and a passion for playing music?
Well, I think the passion came pretty sometime in high school. And this was already, years after I started playing the keyboard and piano. As excited as I was in the beginning, as I mentioned, you get to a point where it starts to feel like a chore. You're practicing every week for your lessons, right, and maybe you don't enjoy it because you have to practice. So finally, I came to a point where I found something in the piano and the keyboard that I really liked. And it happened to be pop music and jazz music. And I thought, wow, this is actually really fun to play on the piano, and I'm playing it just for me, And then, so that's where my passion began. And the time when I realized, hey, maybe I actually have something here that can be something, was probably, honestly, when my father, he stopped saying things like maybe you should study to be a doctor or something. I was like, oh, actually, this is pretty good. You should start thinking about, what you're going to do with this. And, I like to have my parents' support as much as I can, as rebellious as a kid can be, but it still means something.
I know you told me yesterday that your father had a beautiful Japanese restaurant.
Yes. So I'm half Japanese. My father's from Japan. My mother's, from California, just American. And so on my Japanese side, our family business is a restaurant business, not in the sense of, being a chef and cooking, but sort of running the business end of a restaurant. And our main restaurant is this, Japanese fine dining in Tokyo. So we've had that for a few generations.
Wow. So at what point did you realize that you wanted to do this the rest of your life? You can raise a family, you can support yourself, and that's like a big decision because for a musician.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary one too, because you never know if it's going to work out. There's a lot of great musicians out there too. But the moment I realized this was the only thing I wanted to do was probably, so after I graduated high school, I was looking at all of these colleges to go to, and it's a big decision for anybody looking to go into college. And I realized that all the courses that I was wanting to take were all music courses. It's like band or a big band or some classical ensemble or composition or theory and stuff like that. I was only interested in music, and so I thought maybe I shouldn't be going to a regular college. Maybe I should just study music instead. And that realization was kind of what shaped the rest of my life, I guess.
Wow. So what is it like what is it like to what does it mean to be an artist?
Well, it's a tricky one, Errol. It can mean a lot of things depending on, the person. But to me, being an artist, now I don't do a lot of my own music. Like, I might compose and write in my own time and occasionally release something under my own name. But most of the time I'm playing for other people. I'm playing for artists like Daisy. And so the definition of an artist to somebody who performs for other people who are, more easily recognized as artists, it's a little bit different for someone like me. But I would still call myself an artist in that, even though you're playing somebody else's music or playing for somebody else, there's a lot as a musician, keyboardist, or pianist that you can bring that is yourself, that is your own, voice, I guess.
Sure.
Because what I play, with Daisy or other musicians is not something that somebody else might play. There's something
Right.
unique that I will bring that is where the artistry lies, in my opinion, for a musician like myself.
And then you and the whole band are all doing that together with Daisy, and that's what makes that unique performance or sound.
Yes, exactly. We're bringing this music to life through our own artistry and through Daisy's artistry and leadership. So it's really kind of magical, actually.
Okay, so now when did you first meet Daisy Jopling, and how did you get caught up in the Daisy Jopling magic?
So I first met Daisy, I think it was 2019. I got a call from my friend Lavando, who plays bass for Daisy, and he's been playing with her for a long time. And so I'd heard about Daisy through him because, he has all these, different stories from different gigs and tours, and, he's having the time of his life playing music with her. So I've heard all about her. And so finally, I got the call because she was looking to add, a new keyboardist to the mix. And, he said, do you want to play with this person, Daisy Jopling? And immediately said yes, because Lavando is a fantastic musician. And, from what I heard about Daisy, it was a no-brainer. Said yes. So my first show was for her concert at the Paramount in 2019. I think it was November. And, but of course I met Daisy some weeks beforehand for rehearsals and stuff. And
what happened when you met her in rehearsal?
Immediately was like, getting the Daisy Jopling experience. She's such a big personality and such a big heart, and the most kind, bubbly person, just so much energy, positive energy, coming from her. And it shows in her music, and you see it on stage, and all of that is real, like on stage, off, this is Daisy, like 100%. So
Right.
it was quite amazing to experience that and to meet somebody just so lovely.
So what does it mean to you to be involved in the Daisy Jopling Music Mentoring Foundation program?
So I'm still pretty new to that whole thing, but even though I've played just a few gigs with Daisy so far, and haven't interfaced with the foundation too much, but even with that, those few times, I've already seen like a lot of the magic of this foundation. Like from the first show at the Paramount, playing at that beautiful theater, and having all these different kids come up and sing with us, and to play. We had a young drummer come and play some songs with us too, and it was his dream to play at the Paramount, and this was something that the Daisy Jopling Music Foundation was able to give to him, and to be able to help him grow into the musician he was on that day, and the musician that he is today. He came to see one of the shows at Bannerman. He said hello, and his life almost seemed to have changed since then. And it's not only because of the foundation, of course, but I'd like to think that that was sort of a springboard to the success he's seeing today.
So tell us about your experience on Bannerman Island.
Oh, it was truly magical. I mean, it's hard to describe, I mean, thinking about, taking a ferry to this island, playing in front of this castle. It's under a full moon, to an intimate crowd with, the best people on earth on stage, the most talented musicians. It's really, there's nothing like it, I mean, this is going to be an experience that, we're going to be talking about.
The film is going to be so beautiful because the pictures we've seen are just incredible.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're going to see it this afternoon, which
Yes.
I'm excited to see. So in today's world, how do you see the future of the music business? I mean, with the way things are happening today.
It is very murky. It is a murky future, but I still feel optimistic about everything. We're in a time right now where live music is not something that's happening very much, which is another reason why this Bannerman, this week of shows at Bannerman Castle was so special to me, and I hope to the people who came to see it. But we just have to hold on to the hope that we're all going to be out there performing live again soon, and until then, doing live stream concerts where we can. Today actually we've seen a lot of musicians be creative, take this as an opportunity to be creative and to still share their music with people. And I think seeing things like that, the various live stream shows and different, works that people are putting out into the world, it's really inspiring. People can still make art at a time like this.
So basically my last question is, so what advice would you give to somebody starting out in the music world?
Well, I would say, be ready to put in the work. It can be really hard sometimes, but you just have to remember, what you're doing it for. You're doing it to make beautiful music, and, to connect with other people, and to just have a great time and be good at something,
Aren't you connecting with yourself?
Connecting with yourself, absolutely. Playing music is a new way to sort of understand yourself and to express yourself. So in a way that words can't.
Right. So you said you also teach?
Yes, I've been teaching over Zoom actually since the pandemic lockdown began, and it's going pretty well, surprisingly. It's not as hard as I thought to teach someone piano over a webcam,
Well, how does the person on the other end feel?
They feel the same, I hope. So they tell me. but they seem to be improving, which I think is a sign of success.
Right. So where can people reach you if they want to know more information about you?
All right. Well,
You have a website?
I do have a website. It happens to be my full name.com, Matthew Watanabe, MatthewWatanabe.com. It can be tricky to spell.
I'm sure Zach is going to put it up.
We're counting on him.
Right.
You can find me there, or for those who are on social media, I have an Instagram as well. You can search it the same way. Should be able to recognize me from the piano pictures.
Well, my other question is, how important is social media now today in your business?
I think it depends on who you ask. Me personally, I don't use it as much as I do before. I mean, I still log on and check things, messages and whatnot, or watch people's live shows on social media. So in that sense, it's very important. It's a way for people to connect to others and to share their art and music, today when you can't really do that in person. So, but people don't, if they're not inclined for social media, there's other ways to share as well. People are being creative, but without the internet though, it'll be pretty tricky.
In the old days, was pass the word. That's the way they did it, pass the word, and now you got to pass it through that. Which leads me to the fact that now we're going to do the streaming. The streaming is the film of the live performance. Okay, so now you can go to DaisyJoplingFoundation.org. Go to DaisyJoplingFoundation.org to find out where you can get the tickets. It's going to be listed here somewhere on this video, on this podcast. And my next interview is going to be with Sal Lagonia, who was a featured trumpet player on with the band. And I want to leave everybody with this message. May you always have a dream of passion. Goodbye until next time.
Bye. Thanks, Errol.
Bye.